lanolin, like sheep's wool. How now, brown cow? Good afternoon, nerds. How you doing on this fine Saturday?
Greetings and salutations, nerds.
Well, just got off of duty right now, so a little tired, but hopefully excited enough to talk about some of these crazy things that's been happening this week. It's been exciting in the nerd world.
It's been an interesting week. Marvin, why don't you start us off with what you've been up to?
All right, I've been playing a little bit of Lumines Remastered.
Yep.
On the Switch. Bought Gato Roboto, so I'm gonna start playing that today. And then I'm in the home stretch of Days Gone. So like I got 4 or 5 hours left, and I should have a platinum trophy.
Nice.
Super excited about that.
Now, Lumines is the puzzle game where it has a really good soundtrack with it, right?
Yeah, it's like Tetris, but instead of like little holes being in there, if you like misplace a block, it'll like scroll downwards, and just no matter what, like you won't have holes. You just gotta match up the different colors.
Yeah, I remember that game.
It's a great soundtrack.
Yeah, I played it on PSP. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the PSP one just remastered. I've been watching Mr. Robot because that's a perfect TV show. Unless they God of War the last season, Batman versus Superman the Snyder Cut, which is a very great movie. And
I need to see that still.
Yeah, dude, it's like 3.5 hours, but it's so much better than everything else DC probably like put out in movie theaters. And then I started watching Deep again because I needed new insults, and Jesus Christ, they say some very wild things on that show. I love it. How about you guys?
Deep. That's the one with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, right?
Yeah, where she's the vice president, and like I don't even know what the show's about. It's just another one of those Seinfeld things where they just put her in situations, and then you just see like them make comedy like gold out of it. It's hilarious.
Right. So you wonder if there's even a script. Half of it's probably improv of them just talking trash to each
other.
Yeah,
because like the way they do it, it's just like you'll watch every episode. It's like there was no plot that just really happened in those 30 minutes, but I was dying of laughter the entire time. These people are like comedic geniuses.
Right on. What about you, Jeremy?
Right now I'm still playing Dauntless. I got hooked. I thought I was gonna. I didn't think I was going to, and I did. And the thing I was appreciating about, one, the free-to-play aspect, and two, it's not actually free to win. So right now,
it's all cosmetics, right? That you buy?
You can buy cosmetics. You can get some weapons and stuff through it, but it's not necessary. You can grind out. Like right now, I'm grinding out armor sets, and it's just like Monster Hunter. You just kill a monster, carve out the monster's parts. It does that part automatically, though. Make your new armor, make your new upgrades, and just see what you need and keep going from there. So it's a simple concept if you understand the basic mechanics. It's one of those games, though, where you might want to have a partner with you if you don't know what you're doing to help guide you, like almost like a mentorship. That's how I got started with Monster Hunter. I was able to do well in that. Other than that, not too much really going on my end. Baki the Grappler is the main show I've been watching. I finally got back into that to watch the last season. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. What?
Yeah, no.
Is it anime?
It's of course it's anime. Come on.
Oh,
you're the non-believer. You're the one that's the outcast in this situation. So you shut.
I am. Yeah.
No. I'll put that in my Crunchyroll queue.
Yeah. Baki. Yeah. Okay. So Baki the Grappler is a show that's based on like extreme MMA style, like nothing but fighting, lots of blood, lots of aggression. And the first 2 seasons are when he was a younger kid, and the second one was like teenage years, and he was fighting in an underground tournament. And then the third season starts off with these 4 convicts that come out of jail, and basically they go on like a no holds barred Tokyo is your entire battleground type fighting.
Right on.
And then the 4th season, I can't really spoil too much on it because it kind of carries off of 3. But then they've had it set up. Technically, this show is only called season 1 and 2 because Netflix bought the rights for the next part of the storyline. So their season 3 and 4 has already been confirmed because it's doing so well, and I can't wait. Like it's a really gripping show.
Where's this on? Is it Netflix?
The new seasons are on Netflix. You'll probably be able to find the old seasons, season 1 and 2, the original ones, on Crunchyroll most likely.
Okay. Yeah. Put that in my queue. That sounds fantastic, actually.
Oh yeah, if you like anything fighting related, you'll love it. I've never had
Hey.
anybody tell me they didn't like it once I got them hooked on it.
Okay. George, what you been playing and watching?
I've been playing a lot of different stuff. Been playing World of Warships on the Xbox. It's in early access or beta. I forget how they put it, but it's a lot of fun. It's features.
How are the controls on that in comparison to like you expect that to be more of a PC type game?
Yeah, I mean, you just use the left and right thumbstick to aim your guns and raise the elevation of the barrels. But they're pretty easy. I do, and I don't know if you can do this in the PC version. I wish that you could choose to fire like your forward batteries and then your aft batteries, or vice versa, rather than fire all the guns that are aiming at the target that are lined up at once. Because sometimes, especially if something's like 12 to 15 kilometers away, you have to zero in on them. And I mean, you might get lucky the first time.
Dude, that's my entire job in the Navy. You don't have to explain that to me. I completely get it.
Yeah. So I would like to be able to go boom, see where that shot hits, and then adjust fire from there. Right now, the ship I use mostly is the Pensacola, which is a cruiser, and it's got pretty good reload time on its guns. I think 11 seconds, whereas the battleships are over 30 or more. So it's not as big of an issue, but that's really the only complaint I have. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun.
Now, the one thing I do appreciate about the World Series in general is that they try to keep it historically accurate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And with all of them, I haven't gone into World of Warships yet, just because I know if I do, I'm going to get sucked in and start doing research on all these ship classes that are way before my time, and get hooked on like these first systems. Like, the gun system. And as like a guy who my entire job revolves around working on the gun systems and the radars and stuff that are attached to them, and doing the firing like you were doing in that game, it's basically doing my job from home, the fun part. And I'm just like, yeah. And my wife's never going to see me, and that's going to be a problem.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's real easy to pick up. I finally started playing with destroyers the other day. Haven't really used those much. I tend to I like to line up against another ship and just go blow for blow and see who comes out victorious. So
you're never going to do that with the destroyer. It's about speed.
No. Yep. Speed and launch and torpedoes around corners. So that what you want to do is you launch them around a corner so they start going, and there's a ship coming, and you don't want to give him time to react, so you can hit him on the broadside of the torpedoes. But I have learned with using them that, because they launch torpedoes, a lot of the ships from both sides, you can, if the ship's coming this way, launch the torpedoes so that it's going to make him slow down, and the destroyers turn so quickly, you can turn around and fire the other side to where he's going to end up. And once you figured that out, it's much more effective.
You sound like a naval officer already.
That's what I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, he's got the strategy down packed.
Yeah, well, I almost thought about, after I got out of the Army and finished college, I was going to go in the Navy to be a submarine officer. Kind of glad I didn't, though.
You get to do it in video games now.
Yeah. I've also been playing some Assassin's Creed Odyssey, although World of Warships has got me hooked, so that's taken a back burner. It's a really good game, but there's just so much to do. I've decided I'm not touching any of the side stories because the main story is just big enough as it is. And I finally finished up Old Man's Journey on Switch, which I've been playing on and off for a couple months. And it's funny, I turned it back on. I was like, all right, I probably got a couple levels left, and it was the last game I had played on the Switch, so it loaded up, and I was basically in the final 30 seconds of the game.
Isn't that the way it always goes? Like, you're expecting more, and you get that letdown, you're like, oh.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I was okay. Did you have can you put that gameplay clip up, Jeremy, please?
The one, which one?
Old Man's Journey?
I did not get the Old Man's Journey one set. The only one I was able to get set was Call of Duty. I was having some
no worries.
technical difficulties on that, but we do have a clip of the new Call of Duty that we can put up in a second when we start talking about that.
Okay, no worries. Well, what it is, you guys know what a diorama is, right? Like you make when you're a kid, where there's layers. You play as an old man, and it's just a walking simulator, for lack of a better term. You point like on one of the hills where you want him to go, and if he can get there, he'll walk to it. But you can take the hills and move them up and down to create new paths for him to get to his objective. Oh. It's a stress-free game. It's fun.
It sounds like a more artistic style of Lemmings.
Yeah, something
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
You can get it
I've
on
missed
mobile.
Lemmings.
It's on consoles. I got it on the Switch for like $2 or $3. It was worth it. You know, if you sat down start to finish, you might have 3 hours tops in it. But it's
Oh,
a fun little game.
it's not bad for $3.
Do you have a
Yeah,
review up of it yet, so the readers might be able to look into it a little bit more detail?
I don't. It's not really a game I think that really warrants much of a review because again,
Simplicity.
it's yeah, and it's not very deep. It's just a fun little time waster. I also started playing Enter the Gungeon. That game is hard.
Yeah.
I like it, but it is very hard.
Like
Have
Dark
either of
Souls
you
hard?
played it? It's different because it's like it's an isometric 8-bit game.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Is that the one that looks like Hotline Miami a little bit? I know it's by
kind of,
Devolver
yeah,
too, but
yeah. Devolver published it. Devolver is not a developer. A lot of people get that wrong. They're a publisher.
oh yeah.
They've made some of my favorite games so far this year.
Dude, I just bought like 5 games during that sale.
Yeah. I bought I already had Katana Zero because I got the review code for that.
Yeah.
I bought Enter the Gungeon, and I have Descender, and I'm not Descenders. Observation on PlayStation. I need to play,
Oh yeah.
which is like graphically is very different from the other stuff Devolver publishes.
It doesn't
But
look
it's-
like a NES game.
No, Observation. You ever see what's that movie called? Space Odyssey 2000.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's you play as the station, and something's gone wrong, and you have to like open doors for the one remaining crew member to get through.
Oh,
Okay.
It's a dark thriller, but it's
survival strategy as well.
hyper-realistic. I think so. I think it's more point and click. We have a review of that up. We got a review code for that as well. Paul wrote that, but I read his review and was like, all right, I'm sold. So
Yeah. Any type of game, like I said before, if it gets your heart rate going and really gets you intense in the moment, I love those. I love the ones where you're so focused in, and if you get a jump scare on top of it, you're screaming like a 10-year-old girl, and you just thank God nobody else is home to hear you.
yeah.
Wait for that new Ghost Recon. That looks like it's gonna be like the perfect game then for that.
Mm-hmm. And I've been playing a little bit of Robonauts on the Switch, which is another game, that I pick up and play every now and then. It's kind of like a 2D Mario Galaxy, where you've got the different planets you walk around, and you just shoot these little space aliens, and you hop between the planets. It's another time waster.
Sounds simple and fun.
I think I got it for like 67 cents at a sale one day on the Switch. It's normally like $10 or $15. I was like, yeah, for $1 or less than $1, I'll try it.
Oh,
I
they're
like
giving that away for free earlier in the week too, because the publisher met like some quota. It was like,
Really, Robonauts?
Yeah, it was like Robonauts, and then you could get their second game for free when it releases.
Huh.
But
I
yeah,
wonder if that's
it
still
was-
going on. I might look that up.
Yeah, you should definitely look up. I'll try and find a link and I'll send it to you.
I gotta
It's a
stop
fun
talking
little
to you
game.
guys. You make me spend more money than I need.
Yeah.
I personally say I'm not paying full price for anything. So if I find a sale, I just send it to people like, hey, it's half off.
Oh, you mean like
Yeah,
like we do that stuff all the time with each other. Next thing you know, it's like there goes $5, there goes $20, $25, $30. And you look at your account, it's like, where'd all the money go?
Yep.
Dude, I get paid on Wednesdays, and by Saturday morning, like right now, I'm already sitting here like I have $50 left in my 400. What have I done?
Yeah. Video games are addicting. And I also finally watched John Wick 1. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Took
Yes!
you long enough. Pretty
I'm
good,
proud of you.
though. Pretty good. I mean,
It's not
That-
normally my type of film, so
okay, I'll give you
Oh,
that.
okay,
But
all right.
you gotta admit, Keanu Reeves did a phenomenal job as the role.
I like him in pretty much everything he does. The one issue I had with it being a Keanu movie is he didn't go, whoa. He does that in almost every other movie.
Well,
I
no,
think
the
he even did it in Sweet November.
well, the closest thing he had to that in the John Wick movies is the "I'm retired" line that he keeps using. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the part, when they steal his car and John Leguizamo won't mess with it, like scrub the VIN.
Yeah. He's like,
And the mobster calls him up and he's like, he took John Wick's car, and the mobster's like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
and
well, it's like,
You-
what the fuck's the big deal? And then use my French right there. But it's like you see there, and it's like he killed John Wick's dog and stole his car, and just immediate attitude changed. Like, oh,
Yeah, and that you could tell that like with the way that phone call was going, John Leguizamo knew someone was going to come to kill him. But then when he said, "I didn't mess with it because it was John Wick's car," you could tell that the deal was off and he was fine because he made the right choice. But yeah, I might watch the second one here in a couple weeks. Anyways, let's get right into the big news that came out. Was it Tuesday? The 29th. That was
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Let's play this trailer right now. For those of you who've not seen it, big news came out with new Call of Duty, and we'll put quotations around new. It's looking like it's going to be a remake of the original Modern Warfare, but nevertheless, here's the trailer that they have up right now.
Reboot.
The rules have changed.
All right.
There's a fine line between right and wrong. And somewhere in the shadows, they send us in to find it.
Watcher to 6 Actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Start clear!
Victor 6-4, green light.
Chemical weapons are now in the wild.
Foreman copies that.
Guys, hostiles assaulted civilians.
Get to safety, go!
We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission.
All right, so that is the trailer for what do they call it? Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare Call of Duty?
I don't know what the title's going to be, if they're going to keep with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare or they're going to switch it around to try to make some type of difference between that and the one that came out back in early 2000.
Well, that one was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I think that's the difference.
True.
And now we're on the 4th Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it's just Modern Warfare.
Yep.
They
It's
might
a
have
nice
done that
little
to,
inverse.
to stop confusion in some ways. But my question really is, when I'm looking at it, am I going to be getting the same Call of Duty game back when I was a teenager, back in 2005, 2006, whenever it launched, and just playing the same
That
thing
one-
again?
That one was 2008 or 2009.
Yeah, it was still a long time ago, though.
Yeah. From what I understand, it is a completely new story with those characters. So it is just a more of the same, I guess, but not the same story.
Yeah, my biggest worry on that one, like, you guys would definitely remember this growing up. Shadow of the Colossus, when originally launched on PS2, was an absolute masterpiece.
Mhm.
And a fantastic game. Then we got PS3 HD remake about 8-9 years later. I was good with that. But then it launched again on PS4, and I'm telling myself, why am I going to buy this game 3 times? So that's
See, I had never played that one until the PS4, so that's my first experience. I'm not too impressed with it. It's okay. Anyways,
Resident Evil 4 would
um,
like a word.
Yeah.
It's like, you're talking about constant re-releases.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so Jeremy, it is a completely new story. So it's got the same characters. Treat it like a James Bond movie. You have Q, you have James Bond, you have Blofeld, you have Moneypenny, M, but it's never the same thing.
fair enough.
So, as far as I understand, that's how it is. It looks dark and gritty. I was listening to the Kind of Funny podcast yesterday, and Greg Miller got to play it at Judges Week down there at E3, and he had quite a bit to say about it. Like the story is not light. He described it as, it's the kind of thing where if it was the live footage on the news, like you'd see on a Fox News or CNN, that he would shut it off because it's that graphic. But he was compelled to keep watching, and he's looking forward to playing the campaign, which he said he hasn't done that in years. So
That's an insta purchase then.
Yeah.
I love a good story mode.
That piques my interest because I don't mind multiplayer games online, but if that's the only thing I'm playing it for, and sometimes I'm just kind of hesitant. I like having story.
Yeah.
I'm a big story
Yeah.
person, so if it's gonna have a good story with it, and I might be able to jump online here and there, it may be a purchase for me later on when it drops down like 10-15 bucks. It probably won't be a day one release pickup for me though.
Oh yeah, no, Black Friday always.
Well,
It'll be
yeah,
like
I was saying
40.
that's always on sale. The Call of Duties are always on sale at some point in November, December. The big things that stand out to me is it's going to be cross-platform. Now, the wording was a bit ambiguous. They say between consoles and PC. They didn't quite say that it's going to be Xbox versus PlayStation. So there's that.
Judging by what happened with Dauntless recently and being able to full crossplay in between them, I would not be shocked if they do that again and allow that, because I think that might start becoming the new norm. But
yeah,
then that comes to the advantages and disadvantages per each console.
Because like
Yeah.
the map packs come first on PS4, so that would kind of suck to be on Xbox playing with your friends, and then suddenly you get kicked out of the party.
well, the other ones did. We don't know if this one will continue.
Oh no, they announced that Sony gets the map pack, the free maps early.
Okay.
And then you also have the PC side where you worry about botting, which is always something when a game first launches.
Oh yeah.
And what has me concerned about the PC play is, are they going to limit to you have to be using a controller to play against people on consoles? Because there is a clear advantage with people using mouse and keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
When you're comfortable with it, it's a lot more fluid, quicker response.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if I'm on my Xbox and you're on your PC and you're using mouse and keyboard and I'm a controller, I have a clear disadvantage.
Well, on Dauntless, you can actually have it set where you can go onto your specific console only to be able to stop the buffering issues. So I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with a filter to make it where you can, Xbox only, PS4 only, or full crossplay.
It'll probably end up being like Fortnite, where you can play with people on your system, play with people from cross system, or if you're doing the keyboard and mouse routine, it'll only like put you in a lobby with other keyboard and mouse people, or mouse on consoles too. So it'll probably just be like an even playing field, regardless of how you're trying to like go about it.
Yeah, we'll see. The game looks awesome. I don't know what you guys think about the visuals, but I thought
beautiful.
it looked. Yeah, it looks legit.
Speaking of good-looking games, the other one that's got a nice big trailer that we got with some gameplay footage is Kojima's next masterpiece.
Yeah. Let's hold off on that just for a minute, because I know, Marvin, you had some things you wanted to talk about with the the map packs, the microtransactions.
Yeah, so do you guys think they're gonna bring back that the Black Ops, or not, or I think it was called the Black Ops Pass, like the little the Battle Pass version, because that was their essentially like their microtransaction, like that's how they got all their money off the last Call of Duty game. For this time, what are they gonna like sell you on?
Yeah,
Cosmetics?
that's a good question. I think that's probably what it'll be, is a lot of cosmetic stuff.
Cosmetic and map packs are going to be where the money's going to go at.
The map packs are going to be free.
That's why
the initial map packs though, but they're probably going to come out with like later on down the line.
No,
they said the DLC is going to be free.
All of them are free. That's what has me kind of worried. Because like Call of Duty, like for the first 2 weeks when all the reviews are going up, they won't put up any like malicious things, so that way all the review scores are good. But then they'll start introducing all this stuff, like how they did the Black Ops Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, is there going to be a Blackout 2.0, or are they going to port over Blackout? Like, what's going to happen with that?
I've heard some people say that Blackout might just become its standalone thing.
I mean, it should at this point. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Paid $60 just to play it on one game. It would suck if it's just stuck on that one game.
Yep, I agree.
There's a rumor mill going around that they're actually going to test Blackout as being a free to play like the other battle royales, and make it where cosmetics and stuff like that is where you're putting your money into for microtransactions. Which, if they do that, they can make a lot of money and it'd still be a fun game to play. So it seems like a win-win on that one.
Yeah, because does Activision have any other battle royales like to their name?
Not that I can think of.
I can't think of it either. So I mean, every publisher kind of needs one at this point, so they can rake in like hand over fist.
Yeah,
this could be Activision's.
It could be.
Yeah, I
see.
think that's all. Okay.
There's no zombies in this one, from what I heard.
Thank God.
What?
Thank God.
Well, I'm okay with it because they've
Modern
got
Warfare wasn't the
stats.
zombie guys. They were what was that?
That's true.
The waving thing they had for Modern Warfare 3, like where you had
Yep.
like the juggernauts and everybody rushing
Yep.
you.
But
They can bring that back or something.
But I also feel like Activision's going to tell how many people are playing zombies, and if people aren't playing it, they're not going to keep adding a feature no one's using.
Yeah.
It's just wasted resources.
Well, the thing is, back in the day when it was fun, that was more like one of those couch co-op situations where your buddies would be over at your house, you'd be
Mhm.
messing around with
Split screen.
zombies, having a drink, and laughing your butt off.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's really not as popular anymore, so they may tailor that. I enjoyed the horniness of the zombie games, but if they're trying to take it a very serious route, then this may be their way of saying, no, we're going to be very dark and we're going to take this a route that, shows you some realism of war.
Yep.
I mean, and then another thing is like people were clamoring for an all zombies Call of Duty game. Like when they first started like putting it in each yearly release, they kind of missed their own window by just like trying to stretch it thin.
Yeah.
Like if they had put a Call of Duty like with multiple zombie maps and just released that as its own little side game, I think they did something similar to that with the Zombie Chronicles for Black Ops 3. If they had just did that a little bit sooner, it probably could have just been a full retail release. But now nobody wants to keep delving into like just 3 maps at a time of zombies.
Yeah, and especially if you can't find a full team of 4 easily.
Yeah, no
Not worth your
point.
time.
Yeah. But
Rather
yeah, it's
play
due
some
out.
games.
Is October 25th? Is that
Yes.
the date?
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to it. It's only at this point it's 4 months away.
oh, yeah. Dude, holiday season's starting to get packed up again.
It
You
is,
thought it was gonna be
especially
an empty year.
well, unless you're a Nintendo fan, in which case you knew it was going to be like,
Oh,
from
no,
July on is just like take my wallet.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've enjoyed these couple months of just like buying indie games. These full price releases are gonna be nightmare.
Well, it's like I'm
What-
waiting for E3, and it's going to be one of those things where like I'm just going to see this bill stacking up of I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this.
What I do with
Especially
them is, and a lot of people I know that they like to hate on GameStop. I'll pre-order them when they get announced, and every week I'll put 20, so I don't have a hit at a time. I've already got, I think, everything up until Jedi Fallen Order paid off. That's coming out. So
Okay. Man, I stopped pre-ordering a while back. I'll have the money to the side for certain games, but like I don't pre-order anymore until like the second wave of reviews go out. But that's an actual great way of going about it.
The pre-order
I-
bonuses for a lot of the games really aren't worth what they used to. Now,
true.
Yeah.
the one thing I'll
Yeah.
say that GameStop started recently is pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys saw it, but within the first 7 days of release of a new game, if you don't like it, you return it and you'll get $60 in store credit.
2 days.
Oh, was
The
it 2
first
days?
48
Sorry,
hours. Yeah.
48
Yeah.
hours.
Yep.
Yeah. We started with
And it's
Days
only
Gone.
certain games.
Well, it's
But
gonna
yeah.
be, it's gonna be AAA releases. That's the only thing I can think of where they can know they're gonna get their money back quick.
Yeah. The Marvin, I'm with you. I normally don't pre-order. I do have Jedi Fallen Order pre-order, but that's because I had to cancel Assassin's Creed on the Switch because I got it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Anyways, I normally don't pre-order stuff as well, except Nintendo games, because they generally don't let us down.
They have the seal of quality.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And
So
it's very, especially if it's a first-party title from Nintendo. If they let
Mhm.
us down, the fan base is basically coming with pitchforks.
yep,
Yeah.
pitchforks and torches. All right, let's move on to the other game that was announced this week. Well, I mean, it had already been announced, but it was given a release date. I
Death Stranding. What do you
Yeah.
gotta think of that? I
I
don't even know.
I
No words.
feel like I picked a bad day to quit huffing glue.
It's Kojima. I mean, that's the thing you got to
Yeah.
understand. So let's do some history real quick. Back in the 80s, the original Metal Gear when it came out, that started Revolution storyline telling. And then
Mhm.
when Konami actually dropped contract with Kojima to make the other game, which is Snake's Revenge, ended up being an absolutely terrible game. They
Mhm.
picked it up in the restart of the series in 1996 when they came out with Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation. Now, this one in particular was an absolutely revolutionary game as far
Oh, yeah.
as CGI, storytelling, and also some of the little quirks that he did. Like if you guys remember, on the back here it had a frequency that you had to use in the game, and it didn't tell you until like one point. And he'll come over and say, "It's like, well, it's on the back of the case." You're like, you look and you're like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yeah, dude, the dude has so much with like the little in-game things he was doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even in
Works.
like Metal Gear Solid 2, you look at the game itself, 5.5 hours of the game is cinematics.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
and like Kojima as normally is, until you get like a part way through the game, it's not gonna make any sense whatsoever. You're just playing it to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. The game looks incredible. When I watched the gameplay of Norman Reedus just kind of like running around with that giant trunk on his back, I thought of Samwise and Frodo on the quest to Mordor, because that's kind of what it looked like, just like
I can't get that out of my
solitarily
head now.
running
You
on a
just
hill.
ruined that.
Please stop saying that. I'm gonna cancel my pre-order, man. I got the $200 baby in the vat coming in. Every time you refer to it as Lord of the Rings, like I just want to cancel it even more.
Hey,
I hate the
in
Lord of the Rings.
my opinion, that's high praise, because Lord of the Rings, I think, is the pinnacle of filmmaking. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, you're going in two completely
Too far.
different directions, though. It's like they may be both great things, but not in the same world. That's like the people trying to compare Star Wars to Star Trek. Is like, don't you dare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will fight this battle to my grave.
But I'm
No.
excited. I will definitely get it. It's one of those ones where, like I said, the storytelling alone is going to be worth the buy.
Yep.
I-
I got my cat shaved this morning. I think you can see he's got the Prince Valiant cut right now.
He looks quite
Anyways,
happy.
He
Yeah,
is now. He was not earlier.
You just got looking like Simba in the beginning of Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that. He does not like being picked up. He's a big boy, so
Oh.
he doesn't like being manhandled. Do you guys think Death Stranding, based on what you've seen, that the story as you play it is going to make sense, or is it going to be a bunch of silliness and nonsense?
Not unless you're on a peyote trip.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a little bit both, in all honesty. I think it's going to be one of those worlds where it's going to be very extravagant. Things are not going to be in what we call a normal reality. Not possible. But the
Yeah.
storyline will come together and pull something. I mean, if you guys have played the Metal Gear Solid Series 3 all the way through, there's things that where they'll go into certain areas and it will go into this huge backstory to try to come around to tell you why you're here now and how like one of the actual wars that happened way back in the day is part of this story and this is why this happened. You're like, ah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I see them doing more of that style. That's Kojima's specialty. And it's going to make some sense, but it's not going to make a complete sense. That's not the point. The point is having a compelling storyline with good cinematics and good gameplay. And I'm absolutely positive he's going to pull through.
Yeah. No doubt the game's going to be legit, the real deal, and in discussion for Game of the Year. He does not make a bad product.
No, not at all.
How angry do you think Xbox is that they didn't offer him a studio when he got fired from Konami?
Well, I think what it is there in that case, he didn't want to work with Xbox.
Because Sony snagged him like very quickly.
Yeah,
Like almost.
but I think that's because he had a long-standing relationship with Sony, and Xbox is very unpopular in Japan. So like as the brand almost doesn't exist. I believe the original Xbox sold something like 341 units in Japan.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. Anyways, do you think Mads Mikkelsen is the villain?
No,
I
could
haven't
see a twist
delved
happening.
too much into it yet to really see who's going to be the villain. I'm just kind of trying to absorb what little bit of story they're giving us right now. And as usual with Kojima, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think Mads Mikkelsen is actually playing several characters, and I think one of them is a villain because I believe it's at the end of that 9-minute trailer. he comes up out of the black goop. He's in the soldier, and he's got the homo demons, I believe is what they're calling them, with him, and he like sends them out to do something.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there's gonna be layers of bosses, or are you just gonna have that one antagonist the entire time? So
Yeah.
most of the Metal Gear games, going back there again, you usually had layers of bosses, but the one big guy at the end. So I see it most likely going that route because he doesn't seem to, go too much off path, but he may go a completely different route. Once again, it's Kojima. You never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and I did hear something. I think he put it on his Twitter a few months ago about like you're gonna have to in Death Stranding reform connections, and I wonder if it's gonna have some kind of mechanic involving like mobile devices and PCs.
It kind of seems like they're doing something similar to like Dark Souls or something like that, where like I think the shadow people that you come across are actually like other players, like their deaths or something like that, and like you can make connections with it through the strands, is what they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that little baby in the vat, and like it shows you like what all the other players got into like before their deaths.
And it makes me
It
wonder if those
looks like a
connections
great
will
mechanic.
give perks to both players. It's like this person has stranded with you, and next thing you know, you'll get this and this for the next couple hours or something like that. And there's, like we said, there's 150 ways they can go with this. I hope they do that because that actually sounds really interesting.
I just hope it's not a QTE filled game like those Quantic Dream games. Please just let it be full on mechanics and not, I have to swipe the little touchpad downwards to duck and
Oh my
whatnot.
god!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, hopefully not. So Marvin, you said you pre-ordered the baby in the jar version?
Yeah, there's a $200. I think it's like a collector's edition. It comes with so there's two different editions for the game. There's the standard one. There's the deluxe. I think it's like $80-$90, and that comes with like some cosmetic stuff and the soundtrack. And then there's the baby in the vat version. That's not the actual name. That's just what I'm referring to it as because that's the selling point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a chest high, like little baby in the vat that Norman Reedus carries in the game. It comes with the cosmetics, the soundtrack, and this really cool carrying case for the baby in the vat. I just can't wait to set this up in my house and scare all the people that come over. Like, holy hell, why do you have this thing on your kitchen table?
And then you can sit there and start going like, "Old man, let me tell you a story of Death Stranding."
Yeah.
I hope it lights up and you use it as a nightlight.
Oh my god, that's literally. I'm gonna have it as like on my coffee table. That's gonna be my conversation piece. Like, oh yeah, have you ever heard of our Lord and Savior, the stem cells?
Yeah.
Oh god, you're gonna
The baby in the vat.
Oh man, you're a terrible person. That's why I like you.
Thank you.
The Death Stranding is definitely one to keep an eye out for.
If the story's somehow coherent, it's gonna be Game of the Year. Like even if it's just all puzzle, like trying to put together it like through a weird time loop, it'll still probably win Game of the Year. It's like a shoe-in, like Red Dead Redemption 2 was.
Probably,
unless something else amazing comes in.
Probably. Nintendo could still drop something crazy that we weren't expecting.
That's that E3 curveball that I'm waiting for. Which
dude, it happens every time.
Speaking of which, are we thinking about doing some E3 predictions next week and really just starting to see if we can kind of guess some stuff? Because we know what we know what the predictions are for most of the major stuff, but I like to talk about the curveballs, the things that people would not expect. That if it came in, you'd be like a giddy schoolgirl going like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next Saturday we will be doing the E3 predictions. We may have to go an hour early next week because I believe the first show is at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
I have to double check, so we'll want to get it in before that.
Okay.
But let's wrap it up here and let's talk about some upcoming games and news that we want everyone to know about.
Okay,
Jeremy, why don't you start us off?
So, interesting thing coming from the Pokemon world. So if you guys did not see the new game release that they are coming up with on mobile, it's called Pokemon Sleep. And no, this is not a joke about a dream world or anything like this. It's actually a mechanic that they're going to be putting into their whole universe, especially on the Pokemon Go side. But it makes sense why they're doing it, though. They are rewarding people for trying to get into a standard sleep cycle. So you can wake up and have new Pokemon and stuff, and then you'll be able to upload in all the games. And which is
Yep.
going to bring into the next point, the Pokemon Home. So if you guys don't know, the Pokemon Bank is going to slowly start dying out. And Pokemon Home is going to be the cloud. It's going to be a cloud version of it where you can connect your bank to be able to push all your things from there. Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, Sword Shield, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sleep. All of them are going to be upload all that stuff into the cloud, and you should be able to pull your Pokemon pretty easily from every game. So I'm very excited with that point. That's going to be a lot easier to get Pokemon in and out of different games.
Have they said anything? Is Pokemon Home going to have the annual subscription like the bank does?
I did not look that deep into it, but I would say most likely. But the annual subscription was only like $5 a year, so it's nothing like so crazy that's unaffordable.
It'd be nice if they tied it to the Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
Oh man, yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways,
Hey,
any
Jay,
other games?
Not really for me right now. The other thing was a possible. Once again, we're talking about leaks and stuff like that. If you guys didn't see, there was the announcement that the Baldur's Gate games and some of the other D&D version games are coming to the Switch, which I'm excited for. Baldur's Gate 2 was my first D&D style game that I played, and that's what got me really deep into the fantasy RPG world.
Yep.
So seeing those come back in the HD versions coming to the console, I'm absolutely excited, and I'm going to be burning my life through that.
And then it's not just the Switch are coming to; they're also coming to the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Oh, that's fantastic. I just care about the Switch because I want a portable.
Well, yeah, exactly. And if you haven't played Icewind Dale, you will want to. I believe that one's being bundled. Let me pull it up because I got the press release. It's being bundled with Planescape Torment.
Yeah. I think like each one of those games is like 2 games per cartridge. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be one on the cartridge, one download, if I were to guess.
Well, Baldur's Gate is a big game, so Baldur's Gate alone, I can understand them putting them on just a cartridge. That thing was what, a 3-4 disc game by itself back in the day?
Yeah, but those were CD-ROM. So the Switch cartridge can easily hold up to like 14 gigs.
Okay, don't age me right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please don't give Nintendo more ideas for like terrible things. Like just put both games on the cartridge.
I'm so tired of downloading half of a game for Nintendo.
Yeah,
That's the one thing that's frustrating me.
Yeah,
I'd rather just go full on digital if I'm not getting both games on the cartridge. There's no point.
As you can tell right here, I'm a physical collection person. So I don't like having online games unless it's something that's an absolute necessity or there's a really good sale. I love having having a tangible part of my collection. If they have a good collector's edition that comes with some really cool stuff, kind of like Octopath Behind Me that got that really cool 3D book that came with it. That's what I love Nintendo doing, and I hope they can get back on game with as far as not making everything downloadable.
Yeah, you just gotta avoid Capcom purchases probably.
And I'm the exact opposite. All right, so it's Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. They're going to be bundled with all the DLC as well, and restored quest content. Including as well as the Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear expansion, featuring new original content developed by Beamdog to bridge the 2 games. The other one is going to be Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition with Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition. Icewind Dale was a lot of fun, same engine. And then the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. When I was at PAX East, I actually got to meet I forget his name, but one of the guys. He was one of the founders of BioWare. So he made the first 2 Baldur's Gate games. It was pretty cool talking to him. I was like, dude, thank you. Like, I loved these games. Like, when I couldn't play D&D when I was in the Army, I could play these. And thank you. So, that was cool.
We're not waiting.
Yeah. And the thing you look at it, too, is the fact that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are being bundled with the DLCs. That's 200-plus hours of gameplay right there if you play it the way it's supposed to be played, not try to run it linear. It's like D&D. You do whatever the heck you want.
Yep. And you can do different things where you keep certain party members and you get rid of other ones. So
yeah, it's you plug and play. Like, I don't know about you, I had 15 different save files with different paths I was going to see which direction I wanted to keep.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I was 2000 when I played that, 2001.
Yeah,
but yeah. Marvin, what upcoming games you want to talk about?
So Ghostbusters Remastered was announced this week. The 2009 game is coming to Switch, Xbox, and PS4 later in the year.
Yep.
I never got to play it originally, but I'm very excited. I hear it's
should
basically the third Ghostbusters movie, just in
It
game
is.
form.
It is. So it had the original cast minus Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis.
No
The
Rick-
dialogue.
No Rick Moranis?
No, well,
Unbuyable, unplayable. No.
well, you know his story, right?
He becomes the god of that.
No,
thing.
like the actor Rick Moranis.
Oh,
His
yeah, no,
wife
he's
died,
dead, yeah.
so he retired to raise his family. And he does a little voice acting here and there.
But he stepped
So he
back
just-
completely. Yeah, I remember. I
Yeah.
remember that.
That game is awesome, Marvin. I put it with this Saboteur as the 2 most underrated games of last gen.
Okay. Ooh, whoa, okay.
My only
Those-
issue
I
with the
don't-
game
That's
was
high praise.
my only issue with the storyline was just a tad bit too short.
It was short.
but what
like
they gave
8,
you
9 hours?
was a lot. Yeah, it's about 8-9 hours. But what
Yeah.
they gave you was quality content, and that I will say, maybe not at the full price of 60 was kind of one of those things where I was hesitant. I got it at 40, and I felt like I well paid for itself.
I actually took PTO from work to play that game and beat it that first weekend. I love that you can go around with a PKE meter and you find all the little haunted items, and just reading the flavor text about them, it's really good. And like I was saying earlier, the dialogue is incredible. It's a lot of the same type of jokes you saw in the first ones, especially from Egon, the very dry humor.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of pun references to the movies too. So if you're
Yep.
really big into the movies, they'll make like a pun reference. And if you're one of the diehards, you'll laugh, and everybody else is looking. It's like, what's so funny?
Yeah, and you play as I think they just call him Recruit, and he doesn't actually say anything. They'll ask him questions, and you can tell he's going to go start to answer, and they cut him off. But it's
a great mechanic for that.
it's a game you should be looking forward to, and I know I can't wait to play it. Now I just got to figure out what platform to play it on.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't like upcharge it on the Switch, it's released like the same price. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like what, $20-$30. Like, I can't see that be a full price release.
It might, because it's getting a full like HD remastering. I think it's going to go full price release. This isn't just
It might be 60. Yeah.
This isn't just a port. If you look at what they
Oh.
showed so far, this is regraphing and retelling. It's going to be a 60. I'm almost going to guarantee it.
It doesn't say here in the press release. I got that one as well.
Yeah, I was like looking it up too right before this, and it didn't say anything.
I think it'll be
Just say-
between 40 and 60.
I could do 40 without hesitation. 60, I'll have to find a
It's-
good console for. Is there multiplayer? No, right? It's
Yes.
just all single player.
No, there was multiplayer.
Okay, I'll have to find a group.
But it was, I believe it was co-op, right?
Yeah, so it's
It
co-op.
was like
it wasn't
a
that
horde
great.
mode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that online. Then we're gonna have to set up a guild group.
Yeah,
Also, wait, no, you go ahead. I was gonna swap games.
I played it on the 360. I'm hesitant to get it on the Xbox One, not because I think it's an inferior system, but because I don't want to have like duplicate achievements. So.
Yeah. Wait, if you got it on the 360, isn't it backwards compatible, or is it not back compat yet?
It is not, because Atari published it and they're out of business. But
Oh jeez.
because this is a completely new SKU, just like the remaster to Borderlands too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Also, Cadence of Hyrule, the Zelda sequel to Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yep.
The Necrodancer, whatever it's called.
Yep.
That's coming out in June. I think like June 30th. They announced it.
They haven't given it a date yet, I don't think.
Oh, I gotta
Just
rewatch
said
that
June.
trailer. It was a trailer that
Um,
dropped yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't know if you follow this guy on Twitch called Stealth, but he's a big Nintendo guy, and he predicts that it's going to be released right after the Direct.
I can
during
believe it.
E3.
They love saying, "Oh, it's released now."
Yeah.
Nintendo does
You
that
can
every year
download
where they
it next-
drop one game, usually immediately. That's either a cheap release or it's going to be something free for everyone that has the online service. Some type of incentive to get you to get on your Switch right then.
I really hope it's SNES classics. I'm so tired of the NES games.
I'm
I
not.
have the NES. I have the NES Classic and the emulated games. I don't need them on my Switch. Well,
I'm
Fair
a
enough.
glutton.
and also, Also, the Master Chief Collection on PC, the flight program begins in the middle of June. So if any of you PC guys have signed up for that, look in your email. We probably get some games going. I think it starts with Reach, and then once it actually comes out to be released, they'll go in like chronological order on what games get added to the collection. You get on the Microsoft Store or Steam. So no Epic. You guys shouldn't complain about the Epic Store. It's not gonna be a part of it this time.
So the way I'm understanding it right now is what they're trying to do is bring more Xbox titles onto the PC side and try to expand the PC library and make it where you want to buy both of them in for whatever reason. That's all what I'm seeing it as.
It's Skynet. Microsoft is trying to be Skynet. I keep saying this every week. They're putting Xbox Live on everything, and now they're putting their games. Master Race, man.
If somebody in the company's named John Connor, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Sony's next president's gonna be named John Connor, just to like destroy him. I can see it.
I got a couple games coming out. First off, I want to reiterate the Devolver Digital sale on Switch. You should, if you have a Switch, check it out. There's some good games on there. Enter the Gungeon, Katana Zero,
Ape Out.
What's the one you just got? Gato Roboto.
Yeah, that just came out 2 days ago. I'm gonna start it today.
Yep. The Meowtroidvania, they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
They've also got, it's not on the sale because it's not out yet, but coming out, supposed to be this month, and I played it at PAX East, the demo, My Friend Pedro.
I have not heard of that yet, but that you keep talking about it. Can you delve in a little bit more about this so I can see if this is something I want to jump on?
I'll give you two answers. Yes and yes. You do want to jump on it, and yes, I'll talk about it. It's a platformer, but you play as this guy. I think he's a bit deranged. Banana talks to him. I don't know if it's as conscious as Jiminy Cricket, but you get pistols, and it's just a lot of like acrobatic, like John Woo inspired ballet shooting, like spinning around with your guns and
backwards.
there's a cool mechanic where you can take one of your weapons and lock it so it's going this way and then free move the other one. So you can keep shooting, like if you got guys that are coming above you and below you on the right, but on the left that you've got like guys can only come straight at you, you can lock the one on the left and then free move the one on the right. A lot of backflips and breaking through windows. I'll send you the trailer.
It looks nuts.
It looks awesome.
That sounds fantastic. You already have me sold just saying that alone.
After Katana Zero, it was my second best game at PAX East. So, yeah.
I'm excited.
There's also, I don't know if anyone played Mutant Year Zero. I think it's still on Xbox Game Pass. It's a good XCOM-inspired mutant game. They have a free expansion called Seed of Evil coming out next month. So if you played it, check it out. That is it. Real quick, I just pulled up my Xbox achievement list here. I want to go back to those Ghostbusters achievements. They're definitely inspired by the movies. You've got No Job Too Big. It's a Living. Egon's Guinea Pig. What's the other one? I've quit better jobs than this. Was it Egon that said that, or was it Janine?
It was Janine.
It was Janine. Yeah. But the kids love us. Nice shooting techs. Heat 'em up, and it's got the picture of the proton pack. Spores, molds, and fungus. That's collect all the cursed artifacts. Just stuff like that. Like we have the tools.
Do they have one that says when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes?
I think there is one called "Are You a God?"
Okay.
They reference that though. They reference the "Are You a God?" and a couple other things in the gameplay, and it's like I said, it's campy for that part. The gameplay is fun, and if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you'll love it.
Yeah, Marvin, the gameplay is a lot like Gears of War, except you don't take cover.
Okay, you should let up with that. All right, I'm buying it right now. I'm going to the store, boys.
Can't go wrong. I just want to remind everyone we've got the Friday night recaps going on at 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the group, and then after that we're starting back up Friday free for alls. We're gonna trying to get some Rainbow Six Siege going on PC and consoles. So Is there anything you gentlemen want to cover? Anything else?
Just covering one thing real quick. If you guys aren't aware, who's watching right now, the Alpha Nerds Guild group has more than one. We actually have multiple groups out there depending on what you're wanting to do.
Good point.
So
Good point.
for one of them, we have a streamers group. So if anybody wants to become a streamer, I started fresh from this group, and they helped me out a lot. Get started, get ideas, get some mentorship. I did the same thing. We have a D&D group as well that got me started in my first D&D campaign and has helped me out. Now I wanted to learn how to DM, and I got some guys there helping me teach me how to do that. And also we have one for World of Warcraft, and we're continuously expanding and trying to make more subgroups for all these things to be able to help build this community. And the main thing to help to build the community is we need people to go in there and interact with us and have fun.
Yeah. Give us ideas. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Be professional. Be courteous. Another group, I don't know if you guys are aware, we just started up, I think last week, is the Alpha Nerds Guild cooking group.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm actually going to drop some recipes on that in the next few days. I'm about ready to do my steak recipe tomorrow. So the steak recipe I do was actually something that was inspired by a Gordon Ramsay recipe that I switched up, and it's been a go-to for everybody I know since. So get ready to see that.
Father's Day is coming up, and I usually cook steaks for my dad, so maybe I'll give it a shot. So I look forward to seeing it.
Rosemary garlic with Himalayan salt.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. No, I think I'll make that today. Let me get that recipe before you put it up.
Will do.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to add except watch Godzilla if you like monster movies.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's good.
Godzilla has no bad. There's nothing bad about Godzilla movies ever, unless Matthew Broderick's in it. I think he was in the '98 one.
That's
the only one I've actually seen.
Are you kidding me?
Oh no, not even.
Oh my god!
No, I'm serious.
Why you do this to yourself? Like
first John Wick,
time.
now this. You just need to put your foot in your mouth and wait till other conversations, not put this out in public. We're
mean,
talking about
when I
like
was
upsetting
when I was
nerds. We're gonna end up getting pitchforks out coming after you next time.
Yeah.
When I
Where
was
do you
a kid,
look
I watched parts of the old ones like on VHS, but the General Godzilla is attacking.
That's all you watch it for. You don't watch it for the storyline. You watch it to watch monsters beat the living fire out of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Fair
when I
enough.
was a kid, I was like, "Oh, the humans are actually going to try and fight Godzilla? That seems stupid." And here I am, 20 years later, like those idiots. They're still trying to fight Godzilla. You just let him roam. It's his house. Just go about it.
Haven't you
Let
learned
him
from the
do his
20
thing.
plus video games and all the other freaking spin-offs from this?
Yeah, like how many times do you guys have to rebuild Japan before you realize Godzilla? That's his house. Just move away.
Yeah.
Just create an arena for him.
Yeah. Oh my God, a Thunderdome Godzilla game would be so great.
Yeah, it's called War of the Monsters back in the arcade and freaking Super Nintendo. If you haven't played that, that's a good classic to pick up sometime. But if they go with that style and come up with the Godzilla game, I'm on board. That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we're really talking about right now. George, you got anything else?
I'm good.
Marvin, you got anything?
Nah, I'm good. Be kind to each other, nerds.
All right, y'all take it easy and have a good weekend. Be safe.
Yep. See you.